This is a May Luna Media production.
Welcome to the Synaptic Soul Podcast, where science meets spirit and they totally make out. I'm Ava Marie Anderson, your quantum-loving, spiritually savage bestie, here to prove your energy isn't mystical, it is measurable. And oh, quick heads up, if you hear snoring or grunting or a dramatic sigh mid-download, that is not a ghost in the machine. It's just my Frenchie co-hosts, Rocky and Rambo, vibing at their own frequency. Let's dive in. So here's the thing. If you've been feeling like reality has been glitching and people are losing their daggum minds and time itself is bending like a Salvador Dali painting, you are not wrong. Like, something is happening, and it's something big, and it's not just Mercury retrograde, babes. It is the mutation. The shift that human design has been whispering about since Ra Uru Hu first downloaded the system in 1987. So let's just start here. If you're new to human design, let's just get our bearings. Like, think of it as the user manual for your energetic architecture, a synthesis of astrology, the I Ching, the Kabbalah, the quantum physics, and genetics. Like, it maps how energy moves through your body and how you make decisions, and then how you're designed to dance with the world instead of bulldozing through it. Like, it's not a belief system, it's just mechanics. And me, I'm a projector, which means that I came into this life to see and to guide energy and not to grind it. I came here to master systems and patterns and people, but for the first 30 years of my life, I was out here trying to act like a manifesting generator with a Red Bull in hand, just all hustling and forcing, trying to keep up with an energy that was never mine to sustain. And when I finally learned my design, it was like finding the instruction manual that I didn't even know that I'd lost. Like, suddenly everything made sense. The burnout, the sensitivity, the obsession with optimization and understanding the mechanics of the human experience. Like, I wasn't broken. I'm just designed differently. And that's when human design stopped being a curiosity and became a cosmic operating system. And buried deep within that system is one of the wildest prophecies that you're ever going to hear about. That in 2027, just a little over a year from now, humanity itself mutates. Not metaphorically, but biologically, like energetically and spiritually, like a shift encoded in our DNA, changing the very way that we experience awareness. But before we talk about all that, let's rewind. So, back in 1987, Ra Uru Hu, born Alan Robert Krakauer, had what he described as a literal encounter with the voice. Whatever the voice is, we'll get into that too. But for 8 days and nights, this voice dictated what would become the foundation of human design. And it spoke not in vague metaphors, but in genetic and mechanical detail, like describing how our species evolves through frequency mutations tied to neutrinos, which are those subatomic particles that carry information through the cosmos. So, Ra's message wasn't exactly love and light. It was more like, hey, humanity, buckle up. Your operating system is about to get an upgrade, whether you're ready for it or not. He said that beginning in 2027, a major mutation in the solar plexus, the emotional center, would activate, transforming it from a purely emotional motor into a new awareness center. So, in plain English, our collective consciousness is moving from mental awareness, like mind-based, logic-driven, control-oriented, to emotional awareness, which a sensitivity that perceives truth through frequency and resonance and embodied knowing. Like, you can already feel it. It's the rise of the empath, the collective obsession with nervous system regulation, the way emotional intelligence has become spiritual currency. Like, that's the mutation, baby. Like, we're currently sitting in the crumbling remains of an old era, what human design calls the cross of planning, which began in about 1615. So for 400 years, humanity has been organized around tribal cooperation, infrastructure, and shared resources, like governments and education and marriage and religion and economies that are all built to support the tribe. Safety through belonging, success through structure. But that program expires in 2027. Like, we're moving into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, a cycle centered not on collective planning, but on individual empowerment. The sleeping phoenix archetype is pure rebirth energy, the individual rising from the ashes, self sourced, sovereign, and guided by an inner authority instead of external validation, which means the systems designed to control or protect us are collapsing, not because of corruption, but because their frequency no longer fits the code of what humanity is becoming. So, when you look around and you see governments failing and institutions imploding and relationships dissolving and everybody's nervous system is fried like bad Wi Fi, just remember that this isn't chaos for chaos's sake. It's a metamorphosis. Humanity is molting. The old skin, the tribal dependence, the mental overdrive, and emotional repression, it can't stretch around the new awareness coming online. And the wildest part, this next generation, the kids being born as this mutation completes, they're not built like us. Ra called them the rave children. Their nervous systems will function differently. They'll communicate less through language and more through resonance. Like they're not here to fix the world, but to embody a new type of consciousness altogether. So, yeah. If 2027 sounds like a prophecy, it's because it is, but not in the religious sense. It is a biological prophecy, an evolutionary inevitability, the universe updating its own software through us. And as somebody who has spent a lifetime decoding energy, I can tell you it is already happening. Like the mutation isn't coming, it is here. You can feel it in your body and in your breath and the way your emotions hit differently now. The solar plexus, once just the center of reaction, is waking up to become the center of perception. So, in this episode, we're going to unpack what that means for your energy and your relationships and your purpose and the future of humanity itself, because, dude, we didn't incarnate during this era by accident. We came to this chaos as part of the upgrade crew. Like, welcome to the mutation. Quick pause because my next plot twist is coming for your bookshelf. My debut book, For the Plot, drops spring 2026, and it is part memoir, part fiction, and fully unhinged spiritual awakening. It's heartbreak and humor and holy chaos all rolled into one delicious disaster. So if you've ever burned your life down and called it character development, this one is for you. For the Plot, coming soon. Get on the list at avamarieanderson.com. Okay, so we've talked prophecy, but now let's talk physics. Because what's coming in 2027 isn't just a vibe shift, it is a literal genetic mutation. And before you go all full X-Men in your head, no. Like, you're not about to grow wings or start telepathically texting your ex, although, like, maybe don't tempt the universe on that one. What's mutating is subtler and deeper and way more profound. It is our emotional architecture, the way that we experience awareness itself. So, human design teaches us that the solar plexus, located along the emotional wave in our body graph, has been a motor, a center that creates energy through feeling. Like every joy and grief and craving and anxiety spiral, all that emotional turbulence has been the engine of our evolution. It's what drove art and war and religion and relationships and Netflix binges. Like, emotion has powered civilization, but now the motor is evolving into an awareness center. That means that the very function of emotion is shifting from reaction to perception. So just think of it like this. Like, for the last 400 years, humanity's been operating on a fight or flight OS. Like, our emotions were meant to signal survival. Like, am I safe? Am I loved? Do I belong? The nervous system was constantly scanning for threat or connection. That is starting to change. Like, our biology is adapting to support frequency discernment, which is a sensory awareness that perceives truth through energetic coherence rather than through logic or emotion. But let's just get quantum for a sec. Everything in the universe vibrates. Your body, your thoughts, your feelings, they are all frequency. So when Ra talked about the mutation of the solar plexus, he was talking about a shift in frequency bandwidth, a new layer of consciousness encoded into the genetic gates that control how we process emotion. So specifically, gate 55, called the spirit of freedom, that one is the key. This gate sits in the solar plexus, and it has been mutating since the 1960s, preparing us for full activation in 2027. So gate 55 governs the chemistry of the emotional spirit. It's tied to the amino acid histidine and the codon that regulates cellular energy balance. So when this frequency mutates, it changes how we metabolize emotion at the molecular level. Like, emotion won't just feel different, it'll function different. Like, we're talking about a biochemical shift in how humans generate and store and release emotional energy. That's why we're all collectively losing our shit right now, by the way. Like, just out here crying in Trader Joe's aisles and cutting cords and ending decades long relationships, burning out of careers that no longer resonate. Like, our systems are trying to recalibrate from emotional suppression to emotional intelligence. Like, we're not meant to manage emotions anymore. We're meant to fucking listen to them. And neuroscience even backs this up. The vagus nerve, that giant information superhighway between your gut and your heart and your brain, it's waking up like it just now realized that it runs the show. Like, when we regulate our nervous system, we're literally practicing the mechanics of the new mutation. Coherence isn't just a buzzword, it's a bridge between body and consciousness. When your heart and your brain sync through emotional regulation, you start resonating at the frequency of truth. Not societal truth, because fuck that, but biospiritual truth. That is the mutation in action. From control to coherence, from logic to listening, from hierarchy to harmony. And it's not always cute. Let's be real. The solar plexus evolution is messy as fuck. Like, imagine trying to update a whole ass operating system while still running last century's apps. Capitalism, patriarchy, religious dogma, colonial trauma. That's why our collective anxiety and our depression rates are through the fucking roof. The human nervous system wasn't designed for the overstimulation of the digital age, but the mutation is forcing us to evolve emotional resilience that matches our technological acceleration. Like, we're becoming frequency processors. The next era of humanity will not rely on intellect as its dominant awareness. The mind has been a great tool, thank you, yes. It built skyscrapers and symphonies and spreadsheets, but the mind was never meant to make the fucking decisions. It was only meant to witness. The new awareness arising through the solar plexus is somatic knowing, decisions made through the body's resonance field rather than through fear or logic or social conditioning. Like, you can already see it. People are obsessed with authenticity. Nervous system regulation is trending harder than contouring once did, which, by the way, I never figured out. Emotional availability is now a dating flex. Like, these aren't coincidences, they are symptoms of the mutation. The human collective is rehearsing for 2027, learning how to attune to inner authority instead of the external systems. And if you zoom out, it's actually perfect. Like, the universe spent the last 400 years teaching us how to build structures, governments, economies, families. Now it's teaching us how to dismantle them internally. Because the next phase of evolution isn't about better systems, it's about better self-awareness. But then here's the kicker. Like, you can't fake this frequency. You've heard me say it a million times. You cannot bypass your nervous system into coherence. You can't affirmation your way into authenticity. You either feel it or you don't. The mutation requires embodiment, being emotionally honest and grounded and present enough to hold your own energetic field without collapsing or projecting. That's emotional maturity as evolution, not just therapy speak. So, listen, if you're feeling more sensitive than ever, like crowds are overwhelming you, or your bullshit meter is sharper, or you can feel the vibe of a room before anybody speaks, congratulations. You're not crazy. You're just evolving early. Your solar plexus is coming online as an awareness center. And the more you practice coherence, like breath work and somatic release and truth telling and stillness, the more fluent you become in the new language of humanity, which is frequency. Because look, 2027 isn't the apocalypse, it's the activation. It's the moment where the collective stops reacting to emotion and starts perceiving through it. It's the end of emotional chaos, the birth of emotional consciousness. The nervous system's the new oracle, and the body's the new technology, and your upgrade has already begun. All right, so let's talk about the apocalypse that isn't an apocalypse. Because the world as we know it, it is ending. Not with fire and brimstone, but with paperwork and divorces and identity crises. Like institutions are collapsing and relationships are combusting, and everybody's out here having a spiritual awakening that looks suspiciously like an existential breakdown. And yes, while it feels chaotic as fuck, it is actually the natural death cycle of the tribal era. So, the inhuman design, the era that we've been living in, the cross of planning, it has been running the show since 1615. That's over 400 centuries of collective programming around safety through community. Like the whole human operating system was designed for survival via the tribe. Like think family structures and religious institutions and governments and corporations and healthcare systems and even your fucking HOA rules. They're all built on the frequency of mutual dependency. If you do your part, the tribe will protect you. And let's be real, like it worked for a while. The frequency built civilizations and gave us roads and hospitals and education and order, but it also bred conformity, fear of rejection, and an epidemic of self abandonment. The shadow of tribal living is that it prioritizes belonging over truth, and you can only suppress truth for so long before it mutates. And then welcome to now. The cross of planning is expiring in 2027, and within it, the entire infrastructure of collective codependency is vominos. It's going to go. The sleeping phoenix cycle begins, a new global program that centers around individual empowerment and emotional awareness and self-sourced purpose. This is the age of the sovereign frequency. So, like, if the old world said we survive together, the new one says we thrive when we are authentic. And that's why everything that's built on obligation and tradition or fear is cracking open right now. Marriages are dissolving. Corporations are crumbling. Organized religion is losing followers by the millions, and trust in the government is evaporating. That is not the end of civilization, it's the detox. Humanity is purging the codependency that has kept it small and compliant for centuries, and now, if you're a sensitive being, an empath, or a projector like me, or just a human who feels deeply, this transition can feel brutal. Because we are wired to equate connection with safety. The nervous system still screams, if I don't belong, I'm gonna die. But the mutation is asking us to upgrade that script to, if I abandon myself, I can't live. Like, that's the new code. The death of the tribe doesn't mean isolation. It means energetic sovereignty. It means you no longer plug into people or jobs or belief systems for validation or stability. You generate that from within. Your aura becomes your boundary and your broadcast. That is why you'll notice the old forms of connection, like obligation-based friendships or trauma-bonded love or toxic work cultures. It all feels like sandpaper now. They're incompatible with the new frequency. That's also why community is being redefined. It's no longer about bloodlines or contracts, it's about resonance. The future tribe isn't built on shared geography or belief, it's built on shared frequency. Like, people are being pulled together through vibrational matching. You don't find your people anymore, you tune to them. And from a sociological lens, this looks like the collapse of collective identity and the rise of the self. And from a spiritual lens, it's the awakening of the phoenix, like each soul burning through the illusions of dependency to reclaim its original blueprint of wholeness. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. The systems that once gave us stability are dissolving. The jobs, the marriages, governments, even the fucking concept of normal. The human psyche has never experienced this much collective uncertainty, which is why so many people are anxious and depressed or in a full burn it all down mode. But this collapse isn't punishment, it's preparation. We're evolving from tribal consciousness to individual awareness. The old hierarchy of power, where a few lead and then the many follow, it cannot exist in a world where every being is designed to live by their own inner authority. So in human design, your authority, your emotional or sacral or splenic or egoic, it is your unique GPS. It's how your body communicates truth. When you live by that, you stop outsourcing your decisions to systems and experts and trends. It's basically the mutation in practice. Like, billions of people operating through internal alignment instead of external programming. And the irony of that is once we become truly sovereign, community actually becomes more harmonious because it's not built from need, it's built from choice. You no longer merge to survive, you merge to co create. That's the frequency of the sleeping phoenix, fiercely independent, yet magnetically interconnected. It's the end of the we must era and it's the beginning of the I am era. But let's zoom out for a sec. Okay, the cross of planning brought humanity together to build. The sleeping phoenix will scatter humanity to awaken. It's a sacred deconstruction, the breaking of the collective chrysalis so that the individual wings can unfold. And it's not just philosophy. You can see it in the data, like remote work breaking corporate loyalty. Like we're not all out there, and some people are, but a lot of us are out working from home now. And that all started in 2020. We've got decentralized finance replacing banks. Like, hello, crypto. What the fuck is that? Where did that come from? We've got spiritual seekers leaving organized religion but diving deeper into personal mysticism. I mean, I'm just going to raise my hand here. I was raised in the church. And then I went off to study every religion for a while. And guess what? None of that is real. It's what I always say to people is take what resonates and discard the rest. This is your personal mysticism. And then we've got the rise of poly relationships, like chosen families and quantum communities. Like we're now coming together not as man and woman, but we're coming together as human. And that's so fucking beautiful. This is the phoenix rising, babe. Every tower that's falling is a frequency match for what cannot exist in the new world. So, look, if your life looks unrecognizable right now, like you've lost jobs and lovers and labels or direction, congratulations. Like you're not lost, you are being liberated. You are shedding the old tribal armor so that your authentic self can breathe. The end of the tribe is not the end of connection. It's the beginning of conscious connection, where we choose each other not because we need to survive, but because we resonate with the same truth, that we all came here to live awake. Like the phoenix doesn't rise as a group project. It rises as one soul on fire, lighting the sky for the next. You ever wish your spiritual practice came with a push notification? Same. That is why I live on the Sage app. It's like a digital mystery school and a self-care sanctuary had a baby. You'll find rituals, live classes, moon circles, and daily practices from some of the most badass teachers in the spiritual space. And yeah, I'm one of them. I host the live new moon manifestation clubs, plus courses and activations that blend neuroscience, quantum mechanics, and ancient magic. It's basically science with a side of witchcraft. So come hang with me live on the next new moon inside Sage. Download the app in the App Store or Google Play, and let's just get your energy right and your rituals tight and your frequency lit. All right, Cosmic Crew, let's talk about the babies being born into this mutation because, oh my God, they are different. And you've probably noticed it, like toddlers who refuse to be talked down to, and kids who look straight through you like they're scanning your soul for malware, and teenagers allergic to hypocrisy. It's not attitude, it's evolution. Human design calls them the rave children. Ra Uru Hu described them as the first generation of a new form of human awareness that'll appear as the solar plexus mutation fully activates after 2027. These aren't crystal children or indigos in the Instagram hashtag sense. They are an actual biological variation in the species. Ra predicted that they'll operate as a collective organism, connected through emotional resonance rather than verbal communication. And let's unpack that, because it's wild and it's weird and it's totally plausible if you understand how consciousness evolves. So, remember how in segment 2, we talked about the solar plexus mutating from a motor into an awareness center? Well, imagine children being born with that circuitry online. Like their emotional fields will communicate faster and more efficiently than words ever could. So instead of thinking and speaking, they'll feel and transmit. Their awareness will be empathic and telepathic and body-based, tuned to frequency rather than to logic. And you know what? There was a podcast that came out about a year ago about this, the telepathy tapes. I 100,000,000,000% that you all listen to that podcast now, because it is a life changer, and I believe that it really does talk about It talks about what we're experiencing right now. So, Ra called this new species the Homo sanctus. Like, think of it as the next octave of Homo sapiens, humans whose nervous systems can maintain coherence as their baseline. They won't survive by domination or intellect, they're going to exist through harmony and vibration. So, listen, if that sounds mystical, hang on. I get it. Quantum biology is already catching up, though. So, studies in heart brain coherence, those mirror neurons that you hear me talk about, and that morphic resonance that you hear me hint at, it all says that emotion is not just biochemical but informational. Our biofields exchange data faster than language. So, these kids will embody that truth. They'll perceive fields directly, like living antennas tuned into the subtle web, all connecting to everything, to all life and everything. So if you've ever met a child who could not stand dishonesty, who shuts down around loud conflict, who prefers silence and animals to playground drama, you have already seen the mutation preview. Their systems literally reject incoherence. They're not fragile, they're frequency sensitive. But here's the catch. Our world is not built for them. Like, we're still running on the outdated tribal software of control and schedules and competition and overstimulation. So for a rave child, that's like trying to run quantum code on a fucking Windows 95 machine. Like, they'll short circuit under standardized schooling and authoritarian parenting and medical over intervention. They require energetic respect, space, stillness, and resonance instead of dominance. These kids aren't going to fit into our systems, but they'll dismantle them, not with rebellion, but by refusal. Like, you can't force a consciousness that perceives unity to conform to separation. They'll simply opt out. Homeschooling, frequency-based communities, intuitive medicine, telepathic group creativity, that is their natural habitat. And they won't arrive as a single savior generation. This is a long arc, by the way. This is centuries of integration. The first wave will be subtle. More neurodivergent diagnoses, more sensitive kids who can't tolerate processed food or emotional gaslighting. We already have it now. Society will pathologize them before it reveres them, the way that it always does, by the way. But behind those labels, autism, spectrum, sensory processing, empathetic overwhelm, we are glimpsing an evolutionary prototype. And now look, let's get spiritual with it. So in mystic traditions, the rave children echo the prophecies of the rainbow tribe or the crystal ones and even the avatars of the Kali Yuga's end. Every wisdom lineage has whispered about a generation born to a midwife, a new world, souls who carry the remembrance of unity consciousness. Human design just gives that prophecy mechanical precision. So what's profound is that their awareness isn't higher than ours. It's just different. We are mental emotional hybrids trying to remember oneness. They're embodied fields of coherence learning to navigate separation. Like, they need us to hold the bridge, to translate the density of the 5D reality while they teach us how to feel truth again. So what do we do? How do we parent? How do we teach? Like, how do we simply be around them? I'm going to tell you one thing right now. The first rule is just don't try to fix them. They're not here to fit in. They're here to anchor frequency. If you've got one of those little star seeds, your job isn't to mold them. It is to regulate yourself so that they can feel safe staying open. Your nervous system coherence is their classroom. The second thing to do is to simplify everything. Less stimulation, more nature. Less talking, more presence. They respond to resonance, not to reasoning. And the third thing to do is to listen. Their silence is communication. Their sensitivity is guidance. When they cry or withdraw, they're showing you where coherence has fractured. And then finally, prepare to evolve with them. The mutation isn't just birthing new children, it is upgrading us. These kids are catalysts. They're fields and train ours. When you sit in calm attunement with a rave child, your own solar plexus starts adapting to their frequency. That's how the species evolves, through resonance, not through revolution. And here's the big picture. Like, we're not dying out, we're just branching. Humanity is diversifying into frequencies the way that nature diversifies species. The Homo sapiens of planning will coexist with the Homo sanctus of awareness until until eventually the latter dominates through coherence, not by force, but by frequency. So if you've been wondering why you feel increasingly alien in this world, maybe you're not from the past. Maybe you're from the future, here early to hold the doorway open. Because that's what this prophecy really is. It's a birth story, not of doom, but of divinity. The universe reincarnating itself as feeling, form, and frequency through the next generation. You know how everybody loves to say love and light? Yeah, but what about the black holes? Like, this is where Morgan Garza comes in, the shadow work queen herself. Her podcast, Love, Light, and Black Holes, is where mysticism meets the messy middle. Morgan dives into the real work, the grief, the rage, and the rebirths, and somehow makes it sound like a damn revolution. So if you're ready to stop spiritually bypassing and actually integrate your darkness, go check out Love, Light, and Black Holes with Morgan Garza, available wherever you listen. All right, let's get real. Knowing the world is mutating is one thing, and living through it is another. Like, you can't exactly sage away a global frequency shift. The 2027 mutation is already rippling through your cells and your relationships and your career and your nervous system. Like, you don't have to get ready. You are the readiness. But there are ways to surf this energetic wave instead of getting tossed around by it. So let's start with your number one piece of survival tech. It is your nervous system. You hear me talk about it every daggum time you play this podcast. Like, your nervous system is not just a biological circuit. It's your antenna for consciousness. And as the solar plexus mutation accelerates, your body is literally learning a new language of awareness and coherence. Like the old survival code of fight, flight, fawn, freeze, it is being replaced with attune and feel and regulate and respond. Every breathwork practice, every grounding walk, every moment of truth-telling, that's not self-care. That is evolutionary adaptation. And think about it. Like, if our new awareness is emotional, then the emotional body needs to be safe enough to feel. Like, you can't awaken through emotional awareness if your body is in chronic stress mode. The mutation is pushing us from reactivity to responsiveness, from suppression to sensation. So the most revolutionary thing you can do right now is to get into your body. And that means breathing all the way down to your belly instead of those shallow chest panic gasps. Or maybe it's shaking out your energy when you feel overstimulated. Trauma release, not TikTok dance. Although, you know what? TikTok dancing works too. And then eat in ways that ground you, not numb you. Sleep like it's sacred. And most importantly, telling yourself the truth out loud. Like, truth is regulation. Every time you say I feel instead of I'm fine, you're realigning your frequency with coherence. Like, the second layer of preparation is emotional hygiene. Like, the solar plexus mutation is upgrading our awareness, which means that your emotional body is detoxing decades, even lifetimes, of stored energy. Old grief, ancestral trauma, karmic residue, psychic gunk, it is all bubbling up like sludge from the bottom of a cosmic crockpot. You're not regressing, you're releasing. So when you find yourself crying for no reason or angry at ghosts or exhausted for days, that's the purge. Don't bypass it, don't judge it, don't spiritualize it, just feel it. Like, emotions are energy in motion. When you let them move, you are syncing with the new frequency. And now let's talk sovereignty. So in the cross of the sleeping phoenix, nobody's coming to save you. And that's the good news, by the way. Because when you stop outsourcing your power to systems and saviors and soulmates, you realize that your aura is the ultimate technology. In human design, your aura is your strategy, your decision maker, your navigation system through life. Projectors like me are designed to wait for the invitation, to see and to guide and to direct energy efficiently. Manifestors initiate. Generators and manifesting generators, they respond. Reflectors mirror. When you live by your design, you are not just aligned, you are in quantum cooperation with evolution itself. Strategy and authority aren't just human design buzzwords, they're mutation stabilizers. They keep your frequency coherent amidst chaos. And here's where spirituality meets science again. Like, your aura is measurable. Your heart math and quantum biology studies show that your electromagnetic field extends for feet out from your body. It syncs with others and your environment. So when you regulate your energy, you regulate your field, and then your field becomes your filter. That's why you can walk into a room and either feel drained or magnetic. That's coherence versus chaos. So, how do you prepare your energy? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you stop managing other people's. You stop trying to heal people who aren't choosing healing. You stop over explaining your boundaries. You stop feeding the algorithm of fear. And you stop contracting every time somebody else is uncomfortable with your truth. Because, look, every time you choose peace over people pleasing, your DNA updates a little more toward autonomy. The mutation isn't about becoming superhuman. It's about becoming so human that divinity can move through you without distortion. And then here's the paradox. As we become more sovereign, we also become more connected, not through contracts and control, but through resonance. Like, you start noticing that your frequency calls in the right people and opportunities and timelines. You won't have to chase, you'll attract. That's what emotional intelligence really is. It's the ability to stay regulated while the world shapeshifts around you. It's not spiritual stoicism, it's energetic mastery. So look, I'm going to give you just a couple of quick pieces to ground into your daily life. Maybe do a morning check-in. Before reaching for your phone, breathe and then ask your body, what frequency am I in? And then let your body answer, not your mind. And then maybe do like a midday coherence break. Like, take 3 breaths in through your nose, 1 long exhale out of your mouth, and feel your feet on the floor. Like, that's a nervous system reset in under 30 seconds. And then maybe do an evening emotional flush. Write one thing that you didn't say today, one truth that you swallowed, and then release it. Burn it, tear it, speak it out loud, whatever it is. And then maybe start a weekly ritual. Disconnect from all the digital noise, nature, salt baths, silence, laughter, any fucking thing that recalibrates your frequency to simplicity. Like, that's how you prepare your energy, not by predicting 2027 like it's the apocalypse, but by embodying 2027 like it's already here. Because here's the truth. This isn't a future event. It is a now process. Your body is the lab. Your heart is the instrument. Your coherence is the prophecy fulfilled. The mutation doesn't need you to do anything. It needs you to be everything that you already are, consciously and coherently and courageously. Like, that's how you're going to surf this new timeline, by remembering that the frequency of the future has always been inside you. You have been listening to the Synaptic Soul podcast, where science meets spirit and they totally make out. If this episode hit your frequency, do me a favor, rate it, review it, and share it with your fellow quantum weirdos. It helps the wavelength reach more souls. And if you caught a little snoring, that wasn't a portal, just my Frenchies Rocky and Rambo offering background blessings. Music is Cheat Code by 1,000 Handz, used under Creative Commons. And I am Ava Marie Anderson. Stay weird, stay wired, and keep making out with your higher self.